Hello everyone, welcome to another Barb Stamps video. Today's video we're going to be making this card basically exactly as you see it, minus the brick background. We're going to be using the Grown with Love bundle, which includes a stamp set and a set of framelits. It is shown on page 22 in our new catalog, and you get all these images that you see here. There are 6 images, and then the die set has 14 dies. So like this little stamp here, you have the stamp that cuts out the whole thing, plus that, or the die that cuts out the whole thing, excuse me. Plus you also have 2 small flower dies that cut out these 2 flowers, and a leaf that can cut out this leaf or this leaf by themselves, so you could have like a 3D effect. And that's kind of what we're doing. On the card here, you can see this flower here is popped up, this one's popped up, this one's not. So it's a pretty cool set. This stamp here also has a coordinating die, so you can cut out the whole thing, or there are some smaller flower dies to cut these 3 flowers out, and then there are the dies to cut out these 4 other items. These are the garden grown framelits that coordinate with the stamps, so you can see we have a die that will cut out the wagon, a die that will cut out this group of flowers here, a die that will cut out the watering can. Oops, I think we have a glare here. Let's lift this up just a little bit so there's no more glare. We've got this little die here that will cut out this little group of vegetables. We've got, of course, the flower pot. This die here, which will cut out this image here. And then, like I told you when I was talking about the stamp set, these 2 flowers, these 2 small flowers, one of them crops out this and one of them crops out this. So you can have some 3D effect with those flowers. Same thing with this large, these must be, what, daffodils? I'm the worst when it comes to knowing what flowers are. So those 3 flower dies will also crop the top of those flowers so that you can have 3D effect. We've also got this little guy that cuts out the handle on the watering can, and then this little thing is the plant stake. Cute little stake that would go into there. So you get 14 dies, 6 stamps in the Grown with Love bundle. We're going to start with a piece of Whisper White cardstock. And I've got a Dapper Denim ink pad here, and I've got the flower pot mounted on a clear block. We'll just tap, tap, tap that in the Dapper Denim, and then we'll just stamp it right there on the Whisper White cardstock. Really, really nice image there. That's all we need the ink pad for. For the next stamp, we're going to be using our Stampin' Right markers. So I've got the Lemon Lime Twist, Soft Sky, and Dapper Denim. I'll bring in my stamp here, and I think what I might do is I might zoom in a little bit so you can actually see me ink this up. Okay, so I'm going to start with my Dapper Denim, and I'm going to do the words here in Dapper Denim. I might speed this up so you guys can don't have to watch me ink this whole thing up, because I do try to kind of go slow and careful so that I get all the parts of the stamp that I want in that color. With the dark markers, it's pretty easy to tell what you're doing, but when you get into those lighter markers like the Soft Sky, it can be a little more difficult to see what you're doing because it doesn't show up on the stamp as well. But I think that looks like what I want. Next color is the Soft Sky, and I'm going to get all 3 of these large flowers plus these little guys here, and I don't know what these are called. I think my mom had some in our garden at home, and I think they were purple, but we don't want them purple. We want them Soft Sky. So we're getting those. We're going to get this large flower up here. And that's it, the 2 flowers, and then those are little doohickeys, which, like I said, I don't know what they're called. All right, so our last color is the Lemon Lime Twist, and this is going to be for the leaves and stems. All right, we've got that done. Now the last thing I want to do is a little technique called thumping. Thumping is when you take the marker and you just kind of tap it on parts of the stamp. So I'm just going to take my Dapper Denim marker here, and I'm just going to kind of tap it, thump it as you will, on these little things that I can't remember what they're called. Whoops. I just got some right there on that stem, so I'm going to try to wipe that off. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to use a blender pen. And I'm going to use my blender pen to remove that bit of dapper denim that I just got on that stem. And we are going to come back in with our lemon lime twist, clean that up. And then since I'm not sure if I got blender pen on this, I'm going to ink that up again too. Okay, so I've got my thumping done, everything else done. So now I'm going to huff on the stamp, which means I'm just going to breathe on it a couple times to moisten that ink again because it sat there for a little while. And then we are going to press it. Ooh, let me move this into the frame. Press it onto the paper, and this is what we get. So that is our image inked up with markers, and you can see how cool that looks when you do a little bit of thumping. All right, I'm going to turn the card over, and now I'm also going to ink up these same large flowers one more time, each one of them one time, with a soft sky marker. Okay, and then, whoops, on this larger one, I'm also going to take my soft sky marker and I'm just going to kind of rest it on the edge of the stamp and go around all those flower petals. Oops. Well, I think that'll be all right. All right, I think that'll work out good. I'm going to huff on that again, and then I'm going to bring it in and stamp it on the top part here. So then I'll have three things that I have to get out. So now I have that small flower and that flower as well. I'm going to bring the big shot in here now. We're going to crop all these pieces that we just stamped. So hold on, and I'll be right back with that. All right, I've got my big shot here. I'm going to need this die right here, this die right here, and then these two flower dies. Whoops, dropping dies all over the place. All right, so I've got my platform that came with my big shot, my cutting pad. I'm going to put my, actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to cut these apart so that they're easier to die cut. Okay. And I like to use some washi tape to kind of keep these things in place as they go through the machine. Get one up there. All right, so we've got those two set, and now I'm going to bring in these small flowers. I line them up. There's kind of a large flower right here on this side of the die. It's a little bit like fatter. Then there's this fat flower petal over here, and then I'll just line those up together. Get a couple pieces of washi tape here. Tape that one down. This little guy, same thing. It's got kind of a fat petal right there. I've got kind of a fat petal on the die right here. Okay, so I've got all my pieces stuck on there. You don't have to go to all this trouble, I mean, to get this to work. It'll work if you use your magnetic platform. It'll probably work if you didn't use anything at all. I just like it to work for sure. I don't want to have any mess ups. After I've gone to the trouble of inking this up with markers, I want it to die cut right. All right, so there's my 4 little die cut pieces. I've got my flowers, I've got my pot, and then I've got my 2 other flowers that I'm going to stick on there. So let me get rid of the big shot and I'll be right back. I am back, and I'm going to assemble my flower pot to my little bit of flowers here. So I'm just going to put a little bit of glue down there at the bottom of that. Then I'm going to kind of like bend my pot just a little bit because I want the pot to go underneath that flower and that leaf. And then I'm going to bring in my mini Stampin' Dimensionals. Yay, I love these things. Because look at this tiny little flower. It's the perfect size for a mini Stampin' Dimensional. I'll put a couple on the back of that one. Peel those off. Oops. Now I'm going to line this up. There's one petal that has a single hole in it. And so that's how I'm going to line these up. Like so. And then this little guy is just going to go off to the side on these leaves over here. Got some rhinestones here. A couple of the smaller ones. We'll go with the smaller flowers. And then we'll try a medium-sized one for the larger flower. All right, perfect. Just about done with our flower pots. My last little trick for the pot is going to be some lemon lime twist baker's twine. And some of you out there are thinking to yourselves, Barb, Stampin' Up! Doesn't sell lemon lime twist baker's twine. You're right, we don't. But you can dye this white baker's twine that we have any color you want, and I will link a video right up here. Click right up here. I've got a video showing you exactly how to do that. So I did dye this. I just used some water and some reinkers. Let me go ahead and cut this. I'm going to actually cut it into 2 pieces. Let's make a couple of loops here with this double twine. Bring the one loop to the back, bring it through the hole, and then we have a little bow, and I'm just going to manipulate it a little bit here so it's small, so it fits on the front of my flower pot. Sometimes manipulating can take the longest because you want it to be just so. You want it to be just the right size, just the size of the loops. The loops got to be together, then you've got the tails. All right, we are just about there because I don't want it to be very big. I just want it to be a tiny little thing, a cute little accent. Okay, I think that's going to work. So then I'm just going to trim off the excess there, get rid of that. I'm going to get a glue dot and we're going to place it right there. So when I do small things like this, oops, I'm almost out of glue dots. I like to roll the glue dot, so I'm going to like roll it off the sheet so it's rolled up. I don't know, can you even see that? Tiny that little guy is. And then I'm just going to stick it behind here. Okay, got it. Stick it on there like so, and then there is our completed flower pot. All right, so moving on to our layers. I've got the layer of Whisper White here. And I bring in my washi tape. This is the Basics Pack 3 washi tape on page 195. It's the Hues of Blue. And I like to keep my washi tapes on these little rings. Why? I don't know. Just because. Keeps them together, makes me happy. So I'm going to use the 2 skinny pieces here, the 2 skinny styles, and then I'm also going to bring in some of our lemon lime ombre ribbon. Okay, so we're going to use these 3 things. So we're going to start out with the darkest one along the bottom here, and when I do washi tape, I like to use a silicone mat because washi tape doesn't stick to a silicone mat. Makes it really simple. So I'm just going to go across the bottom here, and I'm leaving a tiny bit of white showing. Come in there, cut that off, and then we're going to have some of this. Trim that off. Got some snail back here that we will put on the back of the card. Okay. I'm going to wrap the ribbon. I'm going to put the lightest part of the ombre at the bottom since the Dapper Denim washi tape is dark. So we'll have the light part there. We're going to, I might as well push that Dapper Denim to the back too. Bring that ombre ribbon around, line it up to the edge of the Dapper Denim washi tape, and then secure it to the back. And then this little strip of washi tape is just going to go right along the top edge of that ribbon. Okay, we'll wrap it to the back also. Simple. Now I'm going to add some adhesive. All right, so I'm going to bring in a layer of Soft Sky here. Press that down. I like to layer from the back, that way I won't mess anything up if I had some stamping on there. My card base is going to be Dapper Denim, so it is 8.5 by 5.5. Bone folder, excuse my reach there. And then this we're going to add to the front. We're going to use some dimensionals, the regular size dimensionals here. All right, we'll peel these backing pieces off. throw one in the middle. Okay. And we'll mount that just like so. Last thing we need to do is add our flower pot. So I'll just tear off a few pieces of the dimensionals here. And we will get that done. How about right there? How does that look? Okay, so there's the card. Bring it up a little bit so you can see the details that the stamp set will give you. It's just amazing, and I love every bit of this stamp set. It's so cute. I just love these popped up flowers. I love how I was able to do some thumping on that. Nice technique. Dyeing the trim, another great technique. So please give my video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. If you learned something new, that's great. I always love to teach you something new. Subscribe if you haven't already over here in the corner. You can purchase your supplies to make your own Growing with Love cards at shoppingwithbarb.com. And as I always tell you, have a wonderful day.